We want to go back to it. We have confidence in that. We know we're better than we were earlier. Question is, can that show on the server?
Yeah. Can you talk a big game with the pistols in your hands as we delve into things? FURIA over on the T side, Renegades starting off as your CTs, as this one is going to be high octane even from the get-go. They're going to burst their way out through Squeaky Door and bombard their way out towards the huts. Ooh, the odds might be close from Betway, but are these shots going to be near misses? Barely whizzing by. They've actually been able to get down, but it's only one player through. They've already lost Vinny and Art.
There's no player
trade back.
Well, JKS finally arrives, but that bomb will go down anyway.
Yeah, they have basically given him that B-bomb site control. Considering the way it did go as well, it's such a choke point at the vent. It's odd to think they've actually been able to get it into a better position. Gratisfaction as well on the peak is getting dinked down incredibly low. Able J's taken no damage, has tagged up 2 players. At this point, there is a trio on Renegades that are incredibly low. This could get a little bit awkward for them if it carries on the same way. Finally a tag back onto Able. JK Serato comes through with a kill though on towards Liaz. Azza starts to perk up a bit as well. And now they charge over towards the bomb. It's all on Yuri. He comes delving out through the window, bounding over. Wanted to try and get the first kill onto JKS. Couldn't kill Justin Savage. Gets traded out. And Renegades do finally get the opening round.
Yeah, it's a bit of an awkward pistol round in the sense that JKM, he gets that opening kill.
Yeah.
He then reloads at the wrong time, unfortunately, and then another player runs through. Art gets stuck on the wrong side of the vent, trying to go down, because of that smoke. It just felt like one of those pistol rounds that you run in a matchmaking game. So in my last game, I was annoyed that MVP didn't ever buy in the second round after a plant. We've got 2 SGs in play, as well as a scout. So let's see what they get done with this. Vinny and Yuri. The SG's been one of their prominent weapons, as I said. A lot of teams looking towards them as the ones who have been pushing this weapon forward.
Forefronting it, really.
Yeah.
They really have been. It's also just that some of the angles we've seen them actually take and the fights they've been utilizing with the Krieg really actually gives you the extra potential with the scope. That's one of the things that obviously we're now seeing teams actually look towards more as well, because where the Aug's gone, people are looking to try and see what you can do with the Krieg, because it still has the scope, still has pretty much reasonable stats to play with as well. I mean, the first bullet accuracy is pretty damn ridiculous.
As a CT though, you can't face the angles anymore.
No.
Because at the risk of a SG being there. It's a very bold risk that, like, the way Renegade setups is, there's a player at the wall then there's a player on top of the hut, obviously. If Gratisfaction gets a flash here, it's an easy peek, probably get a kill. However, I like that he's not actually asking for a flash, just because he's not seen anything, he's not heard anything. This should be a free kill anyway, the art on top of here.
Ooh.
That's nice.
Yeah, Gratisfaction with the peek up, gets one. Is able to quickly dart out of there as well. So that's the initial spanner thrown into the works of the FURIA train. Regrouped up towards ramp as they are actually coming down and linking up as a little bit of a conga line of death. They're going to be walking in towards JKS.
Oh, they turned around.
Oh. They actually back off.
They made noise.
Yeah.
As I said, this setup's going to come into play. The wall vent on top of hut. As soon as he gets contact from the wall vent guy, the hut player can then swing out as well, if needed.
Ooh, Vinny gets the trade onto Jacob. This is a good position to be in, but they don't realize that Azza's waiting on the top rope, trying to get the shots down upon them. Gratisfaction as well, helping him out a little bit there, so it all falls once again on Yuri in a 1 versus 3. 7 seconds on the clock. In reality here, he's trying to just not die as he sprints around. Luckily goes down just before the time with 3 seconds left, so he will still get his money for the round. And found 1 frag, but that is all they're going to get for it. They trade over the Krieg as well, holding on to that, to give that over to Liaz. At this point, there's 2 rounds already picked up for Renegades.
It didn't feel like they had much of a game plan.
No, it was
with
quite...
those 2 SGs.
Yeah. They invested into it, but they didn't really go towards outside or try and, you know... I mean, well, they went outside initially.
But they wanted the
didn't
scouts
really
to
do
make the
much.
work
Yeah.
happen, right?
They sort of wanted to dabble with a ramp push, but then didn't fancy it.
Yeah. It was a bit of a interesting one altogether. Art's taking a lot of damage, but he did get down the event. So that should be a plant. We need JKS to hold down the fort, though. It depends. Does he hold ramp or does he go for the plant?
Well, JKS is going to kill everyone. Yeah. Kills 2 of them. Gratisfaction's already there as well. Art should be dead at this point. Gets out the Glock. Nearly actually finds the frag somehow. JKS is just waiting for the follow-up frag. Back onto Serato, who will be killed by the MP9. The Renegades, they do get another round. A rapid plant, though, for FURIA in that one. That's all they cared about, was getting the bomb plant down. This time, it was way easier in actually getting through the vent.
Yeah, they get down the vent fine. Art did have to go through some fire.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's whatever. You get the plant, that's all you needed, right? So the question is, what can they do on this full gun round then? So we've got 4 SGs out. Kessler out being the only one who doesn't go for one. Did have the money to do it. Just matter of preference, I suppose. The question is, will there be a game plan though? So like, as mentioned, the SGs, they didn't really do anything on the last round they had them. So close outside of being used by Yuri, otherwise there's nothing else towards it. Then he mullying the hut himself. I mean, we saw the way he approached his default here, didn't we? We saw him go like into that tight left corner, and he kind of held that angle waiting for people to peek. The scare for Art and Yuri outside here is Liars. So Liars is slowly approaching Secret. If there's enough of a distraction, he's got a free kill or two, depending on the angle. But you can see Art is very, very ready for that. Flash comes through, they've got main control. This is kind of spooky if you're an A-side player.
Art trying to make his move in towards the bomb site. Has to be careful though, it depends on the timing from Azza. Jacob focusing over towards Squeaky, gets one. The trade comes back from Able J. Finally Yuri's able to get into the effect as well. Vinny charges up towards front site, gets the kill on Grass Faction. At this point though, they're left into a 2 versus 2. It can still be anyone's round. JKS has the high ground to work with, going to try and get down the ladder as well. Move back around. They need to grab the bomb here. It's still down at this point. They'd have to back over towards Squeaky Vent and go grab it. Able J is going to pick it up. JKS just listening for the audio cues. Both of them going to go back in through main. Smoked currently, Ben. Bomb's just gone down.
Yeah, they're not in a bad position. I assume there's a kit somewhere around the A site, just on the basis of having this retake occur. They smoke off towards the Squeaky side, although it's not a fantastic smoke. I think there's a gap on the left side. And they have to slowly advance, trying to wait for somebody to get pushed out. That gap I was talking about, Vinny is holding it. If they swing, Vinny has a free reign on it.
Vinny with one. Liaz has traded it though, so it just comes down to the 1 versus 1. It all goes down to who wins the fight. He sprints over. He doesn't have much time here. Finds the kit and will get it as he jumps back on in the nick of time. Luckily, Liaz is able to save that round for the Renegades as they will go up 4-0 now.
I think they're lucky that Azza was quite vocal about where he died as well, and his knowledge of I had a kit, because otherwise that there was no time there.
No, that round would have been over.
Decent retake though. The gap I mentioned didn't get quite as exposed as it could have done. Nonetheless, Liaz showing he can use the SG as well. So it's quite nice to be able to have a possibility of that happening on the CT side, right? Because we all know the T side weapons tend to be a bit better. AK, SG now as well.
Well, if you can find it, scavenge it, it's worth using it. Cheekier play coming through though. High-speed stuff there from Art as he looks to try and find a pick. Almost found it as well. Instead, the smoke's going to bloom. One of his teammates just bombard straight out. But the aggression is working so much better. Everyone wins their opening fights. We see 2 beautiful kills coming through. The flick with the AWP from Art as well as he paints a masterpiece. And now it's just Elias and Grass Faction. Reality to probably just save this one and get out of there.
It was a very, very quick round. Action happening, what, within a second, 2 seconds of each other? Kill, kill, kill. Like,
yeah.
Kind of the perfect way you want that A rush to go, really. But the weird thing is, it wasn't really an A rush, as it were, was it? It was more of a AWP is going to speak Squeaky. Somebody did, I think Able J did the flash through the window just from outside lobby. And, I mean, it works beautifully. However, Grass Faction needs to keep this gun. He hasn't got much money himself. What's the peak going to be? Ooh. If he didn't re-peek, he was going to be closed in from another angle. Art did actually drop there, fully.
Suck as well, Lias. Barely surviving. Obviously, the amount of damage he's taken from the bomb blast there if they wanted to push down. Could have been rough. And finally, a round has gone the way of FURIA as well. And that was just a lot more aggression, really. We've seen these sort of slower rounds where they've been trying to like poke and prod and see what they want to do into the late round when they actually do have weapons. That's the first time we saw just the all-out burst. Everyone just charging out, trying to see what would work. Straight fragging power seems to be boding well for them. But is that something they can repeat? Renegades, not really too much to write home about in terms of the firepower they're bringing out to play with today. Art, he's in close range. Azza, right there on the corner, waiting to try and attack with the CZ in close range. The pistols actually will come into effect as everyone is going to sprint towards them. Azza grabs himself the AWP, but it won't get a chance to actually fire any shots from it as Yuri strikes him down with the Krieg. And it's now Krieg warfare. It's time for Lias to try and shine through with a weapon that he stole. No chance to steal away the round. FURIA, they get themselves a second as they double it up.
So that was more or less the same play, but with no rifles going through Squeaky. Instead just barreling out through Hurt. But the big thing was that right before he dropped getting that kill, right before Azig took the kill on him, he actually got another kill on the player in main. So it meant there was only just Azig there left. He then had to worry about Squeaky, Hurt, like all day sight. FURIA going for a tactical pause this early is quite interesting though. Potentially talking about the game plan, how, you know, what were the adaptations that Renegades went for when we actually burst the A site? What happened the first time, what happened the second time? What did they change? How can we change the way we do it, potentially overcome the way they adapted? And if it's not talking about that stuff, it'll be more along the lines of how can we encroach that sort of style, make them think we're still doing it, but take outside and go through main, anything like that.
Be able to use it now as just obviously a trick you can have, a little bit of a seed of doubt. So obviously if you try and fake towards that A play, you can then open yourself up towards maybe potential more outside plays coming back into fruition now. We'll have to wait and see how it goes though in round 7. So some pretty much a similar sort of setup there.
Okay, so the Molotov by Renegades doesn't quite go in the door. That smoke goes down, so that's come down at the correct time this time.
Yeah.
Last time he put that down when 2 players were already beyond it. So Renegade's adaptation is literally to have 3 players on that A site now. So Liars, he's previously playing in lower, he's playing more towards close outside. He's being forced to play in main now. Which means, as I said, there's now an opening towards outside instead. Like the way they're playing means that we can abuse other areas of the map.
So, they use the double smoke towards outside. They block off the path. They do it as if it's almost just going to be a standard outside take to try and see if this will cause any type of reaction from Renegades. Bit of ramp control being tested as well, but Grass Faction's there, and this is only going to make him happy if they offer themselves up like this so easily. One man dryly exposed there. It's an easy pick with the AWP. No one else really wants to run the risk either of trying to beat out Grass Faction, so they back off. They're heading back towards A, and they're going to try and do it again, this time a little bit later on into the round. Azza trying to decide which angle to actually face from, walks into his own demise. Luckily, all of his teammates are doing the work for him, and it just falls down onto Art. In a 1 versus 3 as he finds the first pick, taking down Grass Faction.
He's a very patient AWPer, it seems, with most of his angles. He stays there holding it, even when things are going wrong near him. Bold move. What? The fact that that was a headshot.
Oh, that's wild. What the?
I'm just going to walk through the smoke and then last second run, bang.
Yeah. Just unzoomed him.
I suppose Renegades quite lucky there was 3 of them there anyway, just in case.
That would have been rough.
That was such a quick shot.
Yeah. If that was like any type of actual clutch round that was like achievable, that would have been so horrible.
The thing is, from his perspective, you wouldn't be able to know what he's just done to you.
The filth that he's just unleashed.
So FURIA now go back to outside, knowing that they did push Liars back into main. They actually run the stretch as well, so there's going to be no player in lower until JKS or Grass Faction moves. JKS now arriving towards the window side. He won't be able to break the glass though. If he breaks the glass, they already know. He'll be able to give all this info.
Oh no, JKS from the rafters.
He doesn't check.
It's an easy 2K, but he's not aware. Yuri was behind him. He gets that pick, ignites up towards ramp as well, trying to crouch his way through Grass Faction. That was a free kill gifted to him, but he doesn't land the shot. Goes back for his seconds as well. But he's still going to be missing. A bit more paranoid about this now as he actually retreats, barely just backpedaling out of the site. You've got 2 Ts down towards lower. But it's all about Keserato on the rotate, really. If he can actually try and be a bit more of a nuisance, he's going back around. Looks like he's just gone in through main. He can go through vent and help them out. Literally, their entire team is there towards ramp.
Yeah. But that's the worry, because Keserato here, he'll clear this
He's
part.
going to go through vent, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, because I thought there was a chance where they could rotate back up. But it's going to be 4 players through ramp, though. You've got good nades, but you've only got 1 smoke. No Molotov, you got a lot of flashes. It's all well and good having a load of flashes, but if you can't flash the players, what's the point?
Especially when you're just being spammed to high hell instantly on your way in towards the site. Grass Faction's the only one that had an opportunity to take a shot back at them. Gets the first kill. Nice nade as well. Yuri's very low now. Grabs the M4. A wild spam comes across, so at least they should die down in the bomb site. But there's no chance of finding the round. He wants to try and grab it, but yeah, no chance. Just really got to try and back off and take some damage from this bomb blast. Oh no. Actually has enough health to survive that there.
I suppose the plant behind the silo as well.
Soaks up most of the damage.
Very awkward round though. I mean, it changes completely. Gratisfaction gets that 1 kill on the player coming through the door. Like, it was a very narrow miss. It was like just next to his kidney sort of area. That one single kill would have made all the difference in the world though, because Kisarao couldn't have made the play he did.
The thing is that it probably should have been 2 picks for Gratisfaction as well.
Yeah, he peaked twice.
Like, the way he actually played it, it's really unlucky he didn't at least get that first kill, but I suppose that's just the way the cookie crumbles. The aggression is back as well, the confidence for FURIA. Art has just leaped his way out towards the A site instantly. And this constant struggle for dominance is just leaving them in such an awkward position. Art, with strokes of pure genius coming out from his paintbrush that looks a lot like a gun.
If I remember correctly, there was the tweet from Mo, probably about 3-4 weeks ago, regarding Art, saying that he's he basically gives away a lot of free kills, all this stuff, right? And Art did respond in a very composed way, saying, "I'm just trying to find openings for my team on the map. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah,
that's the art of."
He's an entry fragger. He's
also an AWPer as well, so it doubles up, right? Because you notice it a lot more if your AWPer is being that kind of entry fragger versus an entry fragger on his own with an AK or an AWPer on his own, because there's a difference, right? But it just doubles up in that sense, and he's kind of just done that with the SG as well. Like, that was no holds barred, just I'm going. He
just went in instantly.
But I suppose he's had that read every round, the last 4 or 5 rounds. At Squeaky, he nades the door off, he'll peek towards main.
Well, there's a weakness there as well. Like, we've seen him actually finding more success than he's really been hindered from it. Majority of the time, they've been able to actually make that play work into actually even going on to nearly win the round of getting control of A. So, plus, a scary factor is if you start to give FURIA that level of confidence, that's where they really do come out their shell as well. They are one of those teams that definitely looks a whole lot better when obviously they're fired up, they're landing their shots. There is a lot of talent on this roster, and I think we're only sort of really starting to see that actually sort of scratch the surface now, where it's starting to come out, which is really cool to see.
The crazy thing is really where MIBR, when they went to buy Kisarao, they said it wasn't worth the 200k or whatever. I remember it was like a month ago that they'd actually got 200k in prize money since they said that.
Yeah.
But also, they basically said that the team's like a family at this point, and that they very much, I imagine the chemistry is on a crazy level just because of that. Like, they kind of all understand what we need to do to improve, everything like that.
Yeah, there must be that crazy level of commitment. Art, talking about committing, just straight goes in for the play. It works out well, and now everyone's going to swarm towards the site. So much damage is being done from Gratisfaction there. The pistol that just didn't stop giving, tried to tag them up so much, doesn't really help out. And the position they're left in, though, as Jacob only has a max 7. From a distance, he's getting the gut shots off. Brings Art down to 46, but it won't be a kill. Now we actually have a bit of a game on our hands as well. 5-5, it's tied up, going into round 11 here. The T side for FURIA looks a whole lot better. It's woken up, they're hitting their shots. They're being able to just use that aggression. Art as well, starting to pop off with 13 kills to his name.
It's back-to-back 3Ks for him as well.
Yep.
Quite surprising that he got those crazy AWP kills, didn't he, earlier on?
Some of them were nice flicks.
And then now he switches to the SG and he
just runs at them with a rifle. Just the pug star.
Look at him go!
My goodness! Where is he?
He's gone from Squeaky all the way to main, and come out the other side and found Liars and gone, "What's up?" And Liars just uppercut him.
Well, he's got the read. He knows there's one playing in main. Yuri's going to be prepared for it.
Good damage by Liars, though.
Yeah, keeps him very low, as he is left with just 13 HP. Kisarao, though, trying to take a stab in the dark over towards the A site. Tasty headshot to open it up. Vinny will trade it as well, as Azza doesn't get a chance to really put his stamp onto the round. Molotov, just in the nick of time, stops Justin Stavage from going for the peek out. Instead, has to back his way off. Gratisfaction lurking in the vents, waiting for the right time to try and actually bubble up as well. It's going to be an awkward round for this point forward for the Renegades. They have no kit.
It's a good flash.
Free flashbangs.
Gratisfaction gets up because of that flash from JKS. The flash will then be used the other way. Beautiful.
Oh, the spam down.
You can see him!
Yuri gets one with JKS. He was still in the elevated angle, had the clear shot across.
Was that a 4x3 situation? Because JKS could see him. It's like when you see a spider at the corner of your eye, you can just see the legs. He just scurried across main.
Do you not see him? No.
They get their own but that was a perfect example of like 2vx scenario working together.
Yeah.
JKS flashes Gratisfaction out, he gets a kill. Gratisfaction flashes JKS out, he gets a kill. they win the round as well. Very, very nice performance and a tactical timeout. That was quite a late one, although I suppose that is the art of utilising as much time as you can. Get to 1 second of freeze time. Tack.
Yeah, the true test of tactical timeouts. This one's actually been providing a lot more sort of interesting moments, though, especially with the plays from Art. He's
just wilding out.
Like, he's just running at them. He doesn't give a damn. He's literally just sprinted at them in that round. It was just such a weird place for him to die as well. Like, for that to even be a fight is weird, but for him to accidentally walk in front through the smoke and be the one that gets picked because of it.
It's very good map knowledge, though, in the sense that he's got himself all the way through there. Because I imagine the only way you do that, really, is if you actually do look at your teammate's screen and look at yourself on the radar. Because it can't be very easy to do, because people fail to get into the vent when you're doing that anyway.
People can't get out of a balcony when it smokes.
So, like, how do you get through squeaky door when it's gone? Well, we'll find out now, actually. Okay, this is his usual play.
This has become the standard. Yeah, and it seems they've actually potentially caught onto it, although he might still get an entry kill from it. Tons of damage done to Jacob. Luckily, Art is eventually put into his place.
Oh,
but they're just charging out towards the side. Vinny's gone on his lonesome. The City's just starting to get caught off guard by the sheer rate at which they're just swarming out. But the kills come through instantly. Good stuff from Jacob. He's able to hold the line. Yuri, he's got an AWP. He is at a 1 versus 4. Slowly making his move.
They're all a bit stuck on the same part of the site there, aren't they? It's kind of awkward with that Skywalks thing still being there. Your angles aren't great towards Squeaky from Nest. But they are aware that this is a possibility. He shouldn't be able to get anything. Although, does he actually want to try and get this? He's got an AWP still. He's got $7,000 too.
7K.
He can drop 2 guns.
So it's kind of the question of, is he literally just playing for the long con on the save here? I mean, he's got 40 seconds.
Where did he get that AWP from? Because I swear that was... I'm pretty sure Gratisfaction has the AWP skin that he's using here.
Or the Medusa.
I thought it was the one with like the green stuff on it.
Yeah, that's... Yeah. Is that not called the Medusa?
No. Medusa's
Oh,
the blue
yeah,
one.
I think the other one. Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Gratisfaction has that one, but that might be me just thinking that Gratisfaction has managed to get their AWP back as well.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like, it goes both ways.
AWPception.
Because I'm wondering, because surely he would never not be just on a CZ, right?
The smooth boy.
Yeah. So he saves that AWP, which fine. Like, it was just a case of waiting out that minute.
Yeah.
If anybody came up Nest, it's a free kill for him. He might be able to scurry away.
Well, it's actually worked out kind of all right. I mean, he can
drop 2.
Yeah, he's technically the MVP there, really, in terms of like the value he had. So at least he's able to hold on to that. Drops the AKs across. Is Art going back on the AWP as well? Okay, so this might actually change up the play style a bit. Obviously, we saw him trying to go a little bit more open for the picks. He was going for the door burst with it. This time he is actually taking it towards outside. So maybe there's going to be a change of pace in the style from FURIA. Look at him run! He just sprints.
He's so confident in the read.
Yeah.
That's what it is, I think. Plus, I think he's read the art of war by Carrigan CSGO when it comes to LAN play.
You just run at them.
You just go at them. They can't hear you very well. Just go at them.
I love it. I'm a fan, honestly. I mean, I think it's sick.
It's great when it works out, but I'm just wondering how bad does it look when it really isn't? Because it's an acquired style of play, though, isn't it? Because if you know you're playing against him and he does that stuff, you know what to expect. Right?
Yeah, you know you're just going to be bombarded.
Just expect somebody in the first 10 seconds.
But to be fair, when you're not prepared for it,
it works out great.
Yeah, it's also quite hard to prepare for someone just sprinting at you like that and just being able to leap around. Movement's been definitely coming through and paying off. There's
3 players lower already. This could be really awkward. Although that smoke's done very well.
Jacob gets first contact as well. Flashbang going to come out to try and delay the push. They're really trying to waste time here.
That smoke's terrible. He can get out with that. They're still going to commit to the plant. Oh, he's out.
There we go. He slides straight through. Oh,
he
there's a double kill as well.
Kisarato's going to squeak.
Art's down. Kisarato starts spamming through. Able J's actually going to get the kill from the elevated angle with the P250. Tries to jump off to get into a better spot. He needs to grab a weapon. Eventually gets an M4. 11 bullets left in it. As he'll want to try and scurry off. Seeming like he's debating whether or not going for the actual reload right now. Expecting the push to be coming through. Kisarato, if he gets the kill, maybe it's a different storyline. Instead, it's all on Able J. Still only 11 bullets, Ben. It's going to be a horrible task for him. Luckily, Azza is low, gets the first to flick across onto the second. Has he delayed enough time? They've sprinted over towards the bomb. Gratisfaction has a kit.
Just about.
Oh.
Nope, he's not got it.
He's done it. He's done it, Ben. The delay somehow pays off.
That's a classic case of not tracking the names of the people who've killed you. So, Kisarato, he was in decon. He got through when that bomb got planted. He never got a kill or anything, but he died on the site first. Surely if you're Jacob, you're just saying, that's not the guy that killed me.
Yeah.
But I suppose they did smoke off decon. They thought maybe he could have got away. Like, there was an awful lot of concern there, and Azza clearly didn't want to be on that bomb anyway. He only tapped it and then was very confused when there was all 3 players on his screen.
Yeah.
FURIA get a pause there. 6 rounds on the T side already. Potential for an 8-7 in favour of them as well. Although the buy's not great, is it? A Mac 10 on art, so this is more of the run and gun style.
It might complement him, to be honest. Like, the way he's been playing with it, I don't think it will really hinder him.
He's not even buying a flashbang. He's got $600. He doesn't need a flashbang.
No.
Why blind myself, potentially? Is what I'm thinking of this. So the door goes, smoke forward. He's going. Ooh, he's taking a lot of damage. Oh, they're both blind.
He gets another kill as he just sprints in towards him. The bonus of this man knows no bounds. Yuri as well with a trade coming through. The Krieg killer back on the scene. More to be done as his posse pops off as well. And it is all down to JKS in a 1 versus 3. A horrible position to be left in now. This could be 7-7. This is going to keep it so close going through out of the first half here. The opening map of our best of 3 between Renegades and FURIA. Let's go right down to the wire, it seems. JKS slowly tiptoeing his way back over, trying to keep noise to a minimum as he advances in here. He can just back off, save the weapon. There's been no contact. Bring it through to that next round and look to see who actually gets the advantage at the half. It's got to be an 8-7 to one team or the other.
Just kind of crazy. I mean, I wonder how many opening kills Art has been a part of. That's good, really good damage actually going into the last round. Although Renegades won't have a great buy themselves, minimizing their buy helps all the part as well.
Yeah. Plus FURIA's cash has been pretty bad.
I'm just trying to think how many opening kills has Art actually been a part of, because he's relentless. He really is relentless. He keeps going for it over and over again.
At least 5 or 6 rounds he has been...
He's had like the opening kill 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an easy guarantee.
Like, he's done it a good 4 times in main alone.
So half the rounds of the game, he's been involved in the opening duel.
There you go.
He's 4 and 3. That's wild, though. And he keeps doing the same thing over and over
He's
again.
doing it again.
Like, these mollies come through.
Surely at some point this stops him. He gets another kill
He
for it.
still gets a kill, though.
He's been able to find the pick on towards Azza. No one can stop him. You can't stop the art. It's just too hot right now as he keeps hitting him with this ridiculous style of CS. Can he keep this up into the second half? Can the Renegades start to battle back? We'll find out in the second half of Nuke after break. And we are back with Renegades versus FURIA. If you have missed it, you have missed a spectacle, a display of the true level of sheer skill and speed Art has to bring to the table. He has been sprinting headstrong onto everyone, and it has been working fantastically, Ben.
So we've got 3 sets of grenades. This is going to be a very, very quick strategy from Renegades. Straight down the vent. However, how many of them actually made it through? 2 of them. They did get the bomb down. And JCam wins that fight as well. But Art, the man you were talking about...
Ooh, overwhelmed there towards the B site this time around. Isn't able to actually be the punisher we needed to see coming through. Able J hoping to try and get an angle as well. As he takes a couple of warning shots off, just darting down towards the back of B site. A nice shot from Vinny as JKS's heads gets popped clean off. And it's just left on 2 men. The last remaining Renegades down there, quaking in their boots as the push comes towards them. Azza with a P250 pistol gets the headshot back on Keserato, and it's all up to Liaz. Isn't quite able to do it. Able J, a 4K for him into the round, as he'll be able to actually do a pretty darn big amount of work. Put a shift in going into that pistol round, Ben. And FURIA now, off the back of the small advantage at the end of the half, now have a 9-7.
And he was the one with a kit as well.
Yeah.
So he gets the 4 kills and defuse. He actually had $5,100 to spend into this round. And he actually buys an AUG for someone else.
So, Able J bought an AUG for Yuri, and Yuri bought him a FAMAS.
Yeah. Yuri must be playing outside in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Oh, actually...
The XM is out.
Yeah, it's an outside rumble as well. Wait, yeah, where's Vinny? What's Vinny doing with this blue spruce? Take me over there. Oh, okay. All right, you know what? There could be some impact from him a little bit later on. He's got the time to rotate off and charge some blue spruce. Right now, though, I mean, it should just be Yuri absolutely massacring here.
But there's SG on the other side, though, as well. So we're going to have a Zoomy boy battle.
Oh, we will indeed, actually.
Depending on if they check for Yuri.
Boosting him up as well. Liaz has been put on the elevated angle.
The shadow.
The timing of all of this is just an absolute hellscape right now. When they hit the go, it's really going to put the pedal to the metal as they get themselves ready. The flashbang goes across, still waiting for that initial bombardment. Jay comes straight on top of the lip. No one focusing in towards the garage. Yuri finally peeks out, gets 2 critical kills for it. There's no potential for the trade at all. There's the auto shotgun coming through as JKS gets eaten by it. Absolutely destroyed. I knew he'd catch one on the lurk. FURIA, they win that round. No one looked towards garage at all. I thought they had an inkling. I thought they had a read.
You could really see the rate of fire difference on that AUG, though, couldn't you?
It's way slower.
It was way slower. But he still got the kills anyway. And that's quite satisfying. Look at the utility level on both sides. 4 zeros, 4 5s. That's quite satisfying.
I'd like to see that.
It's quite satisfying.
I'd like to see that, actually. Oh, it's good.
So Renegades, the force buy into it didn't quite amount to too much. Nevertheless, FURIA, though, put themselves in a good position.
That nade as well.
Still keeps taking the fight.
Just rinse them. Happy to try and go for the kills. Luckily, Keserato actually gets it with the MP9 as well, so that's even more money being made.
Then he lost to the... He lost to a Glock. The Glock killed him. How's that happened?
The auto shot, he is faulted under the pressure of the single Glock.
And he got a plant out.
And he does actually get the bomb down because of it as well. So
that's crazy.
That's pretty rough. I mean, it's still a way lot better than it could have been there for Renegades, really, in the overall potential of that round. But this is where the game actually starts to get a little bit serious again. The reinvestment's going to come out. They'll actually have rifles to play with, AKs to slay for days, and they've also got Gratisfaction back over on the AWP. We saw him obviously looking quite effective. The rounds we did see him with, they were quite sparse on the CT side, but he still looked like he was hitting some pretty tasty shots. You pop him on the T side. Normally with Gratisfaction, if you wind him up and throw him in the right direction, he does actually go to work. He puts in the effort. Oh,
that's
not
really
like
nice
this,
nade.
though.
Yuri, ooh.
Oh, Ben, this could be absolutely
if he
wild.
goes through at the wrong time, though.
What a cheeky gamer. He's just waiting in the back line. He could absolutely demolish all of them. It just depends on the moment he tries to strike, but he reveals his hand too early, peeks out towards Secret. At this point, you've just transferred the map control over to him, told him where you were. Art dies on his lonesome as well, sold to Sauron by his teammate. And this is getting much worse as well. Yuri still trying to initiate through the back door, getting tagged up, Ben, left on 73 HP. Able J has got a hard task ahead of him.
It's a very rough position. I mean, the FAMAS isn't exactly the greatest weapon for it either. Good start, but nothing more.
Yeah, just the single frag before he's traded back upon there by Jacob. 2 men remaining. Keserato and Yuri creeping through the vents, but Azza's there. And he's one angry man as he lashes out onto Yuri, taking him down. Keserato and the Krieg, the last remaining gamer on the side of FURIA. Not in a good position here, Ben. In reality, probably just going to be the save. Walk his way out of this one with the armor. The Krieg and the flashbang. You've also got 8K. Can drop over some weapons to the rest of his teammates. Everyone's got pretty effective cash apart from Vinny. That is going to be another round now, going the way of Renegades, finally, as they start to come back into things. And it seemed like it was going to be such an unreal play as well. All of the cards were set up in favor of FURIA at that point. It was just a little bit too late and a little bit too rushed as well.
Yeah, I mean, Yuri, he spent so much time like making that weight play there.
Yeah.
Just to then
Just
trigger finger immediately when he sees the enemy. Ah!
Shoot secret. Ah, no. I've missed.
I've killed that as well. Ah, my bad.
That's
my
all
bad.
gone wrong. It's all gone wrong.
And then he makes the slow play down the ladder and vent as well and just gets shot in his toes. Like, ah, why? Renegades, though, get around on the board, start on the T side. The issue is, if they win this one still, I'd see FURIA buying again. Just because they've got decent cash. It's not great cash, but it's decent enough to get something going on the CT side, especially.
It's actually curious as well that FURIA, one of the teams we're still seeing actually actively use the AUG still. So Able J and Yuri still rocking it.
It doesn't seem to be too bad. That's the first time I've seen that smoke on top of blue in quite a while as well. That's the classic one you used to use to make so you can get on silo, not be seen from back garage. So Yuri getting sent all the way back to spawn.
Yeah, they're literally smoking him in as well. He's been forced the whole way back. They've double flashed over. They've mollied it.
It's such an awkward area, though. Like, how do you clear that without like
exposing yourself, really?
Yeah. You're already a man down. He's on an elevated angle, looking for the fight as well.
Oh, and he's seen the feet. Okay. What about Azza, though? Azza could actually try and pull this one out of the bag, really, if he advances forward. Obviously, the steps are going to be the annoying part. They peek out a little bit, but he's been able to get past them, spots him. Oh, Yuri with no real response. Wasn't quite expecting the cheeky little pop-up there. So Azza will find that frag. Able J. There was room for the response. Right now, it's a bit of a stalemate. This round looking a little bit stagnant with 35 seconds left on the clock.
Vinny's in squeaky room. This should... Oh, JKS knows.
Oh, it doesn't matter that he knows, Ben. He won't be thinking about that play anymore. His head's been removed. And they set themselves up for the strike towards the A site. Keserato, eyes peeled back, looking towards the elevated angle with an easy 2K. And it all falls onto Grass. Faction AWP in hand. Gifted the first kill. If he can get the follow-up, he can still win the round. So close, but yet so far away. Seconds of a difference from being able to connect that shot and lock it down. Instead, he's going to go the way of FURIA.
A very awkward situation, really. I mean, JKS, he probably doesn't need to rush and clear that, but at the same time, he kind of feels, well, if I make this play, this will win us the round, 100%. And instead, it means they have to trade him off, and then he, you know, Vinny's already in hurt. Keserato is such a good player. I mean, he gets both those players coming out of Nest. FURIA used a tactical pause. They've only got one more left, actually, for the remaining 10 rounds, if it were to go the full 10. Interesting, potentially talking, see what the buy could be on Renegades side, I suppose. Like, they should know it should be a comfortable buy regardless. But the scoreline, there's not much in it, really. Like, if Renegades were to win this round, FURIA, they'd still be on another buy. It'd be a weak one, but it'd still be a buy. At that point, you might be seeing a 12-10 scoreline. It goes the other way as well. It might be a 14-8. These next 2 rounds pretty much decide it, I feel.
Yeah, we're into the crunch time now, really. And FURIA projecting themselves in a pretty nice position as this one carries on right now on the opening map here at the best of 3. Ooh. The early bombardment allows Jacob to get the first pick, and JKS to actually make his way already down towards the lower bomb site.
Look how quick he's gone, though. He's already had contact.
Yeah, knows the Able J's location. This is going to put a lot of pressure onto FURIA. However, the response towards outside is gleaming. He can block off Secret. The actual rotation from the Renegades
JKS
is completely blocked off.
JKS should have him.
He's got to find him, though. There we go. Exposes his leg. Finally, JKS will get the shot back across. They're going to be able to roam down. They can go through Secret. The blockade's been removed. Now they can try and actually execute down towards the B-bomb site. Ooh, the face from Able J. Rapid stuff. But JKS was just that little bit quicker. Instantaneous headshot found. Quesorato brought down to 48 HP as well. 50 seconds on the clock here. It's not looking fantastic. They've secured lower site. Bomb goes down now as well. Gratisfaction's trapped between a rock and a hard place. It just depends when that push actually comes. Vinny slowly going forward, eventually commits to the kill. Now both of them need to double team it down quickly, Ben. They've got to be rapid about this one. They've got kits.
Takes them to save.
Yeah, they're not going to go for it. They're going to call it quits at this point. I mean, you've got the round lead, you've got the advantage. Cash is horrible as well, so at least you can actually clutch onto that AWP and just save this one out.
Yeah, they both keep weapons. They can drop 2 across. Able J and Yuri get weapons. They AWP for outside potentially if needed.
Yep.
Awkward situation for Art though, isn't it? He gets that 1 kill towards outside and he's kind of stuck at T-Red. Can't really move out either side of the smoke. And he tries to retreat of all the other ways. Like his other access point, either I go at them, not really going to do that with an AWP, or I go backwards. Backwards is unfortunately into JKS's gracing hands and he just takes his head off.
It was the timing as well.
Yeah.
It was really unlucky for him just as he arrives there, obviously. The smoke's starting to dissipate as he backed out of it. Now though, Renegades, a little bit better there. They're actually getting themselves into that form, obviously on their T side, being able to roll with the punches and wake themselves up a little bit going into this best of 3. It's still not set in stone who will take this as well. That's the factor. Even though FURIA are leading, you can never really count out the Renegades.
The interesting thing is, Renegades, that last round was a very healthy win. Right? They had 4 players alive and only 1 player drops a gun across. So you've got 3 players on above 3,000. So even if you lose this one, but you damage the economy enough, you've still got another buy and potentially a reset. Vinny, he loves taking these like held angle peaks, because he did it on Hut on T side, didn't he?
Yeah.
Very willing. It's a very risky move though. I mean, if they were to get contact off him there, they molly him out at the same time.
Well, it's confident
He's
though.
done, isn't it?
It's one of those where it is kind of the risk versus reward of how well you think you can play it as well, and if you think it's actually beneficial.
And in the vent. He's coming up the ladder, still scoped in.
He's just bizarre.
He's still.
Oh, but it works! The pop-up warp from Art! Out of nowhere, lurking through the vents.
Oh.
Oh,
third.
Just carries on the tag. No, surely not. As he's been able to get that across, switches out to the AK, wanted to play a round of gun game, but instead it is going to be Able J to shut this one down. Art with the AWP, the free K, the tag. What is going on?
I just love how we saw a second of him just in the vent, scoped in. I was just like.
And then he's just there, and just slaughtering everyone.
It's like that video of have you ever seen the video of the tank in the water, and it just comes out with the water. Like, it's just got like a stick there, for, like
just bobbles out,
just for the air.
Yeah.
And it just comes out of the water, just a massive tank. It's him in the vent with an AWP, and he just comes flying out like, "Hello."
Just killed
I was here the whole time.
That's ridiculous. Oh, Quesorato, the backstab with the JK. He's
one bullet.
Gets the kill.
He had 1 bullet.
Oh,
that was 1 bullet.
Well, that's a way to open up the round. Instantly kicking this one off. At this point, Renegades, they're slowing down the pace off the back of losing the initial man as JKS has just been massacred in the vent.
Art is going to make a play, I think.
They choose to push towards Vinny. They're going to be able to get out of the hut, but Art is still there with the AWP. Times back. Look at the movement. He gets away so easily. So graceful with the AWP. As he backs off. Expects the push nearly through the blindness as well. Would have found that frag. Quesorato has to chime in to help him out. Yuri just sprints towards them. The body slam him down. And FURIA do get a 14th round as they are so close from taking this opening map here on Nuke and walking away with it.
14-9. It's just a case that his AWP is not. You can't predict it, right?
No. He doesn't play the same angles. He doesn't play in the same way every round. Like,
but he's not over the top bouncy with it either. He's not over the top reaction flicking or anything like that. He is just
controlled aggression when he needs to. But he's very confident in being able to just get that first kill and keep pushing with it. That's the factor that's really sort of set the difference. Is you can't count him out after he gets 1. He's still going to be able to do more. Like now, he's still looking for that second initial pick. Gets it as the head's just offered to him by Liaz, as they're just going to peek up towards our side. Still not content, as he will be looking to try and even further demolish his way through Renegades into this round. Gratisfaction
in a Orpa's body. We get that kill anyway.
It's just crazy. He just runs around with the AWP. He's just been blowing everyone to pieces. He'll probably run and actually get this kill as well. Which he will. Ah, the man of the moment right now for FURIA. He's their win condition.
Apparently, especially on this map so far, I mean, he basically like forced Liars to reposition for the entire CT half. After round 4 or 5, Liars could not play outside anymore. He had to play in main. And even when he was playing in main, Art was still getting to do what he wanted. It was such a awkward situation, really. Nevertheless, I mean, it just shows how well in control he is. Like, in the game, I guess.
Yeah. He's just ahead of the curve right now, it seems. Everyone towards outside as well. The full commit for the actual 4-man burst. They're going to be trying to charge their way through. Oh, he's trying to play around the smoke. Just teasing them. Art going down, eventually killed out by JKS. So we're left into the 3 versus 3. Trapped with a little bit of a stalemate towards outside. So much time on the clock, but no time for mistakes for Renegades. If they make any slip-ups here, FURIA will be able to close this one down and walk away with the first map.
It's kind of crazy how much action happens in the first 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then nothing for like 35. It's the calm before the storm. JKS might be getting some contact in the lobby, depending on what Vinny decides to do. But you can see the A crunch is the idea. Last time we saw this sort of idea, though, JKS overstepped a bit. He went for the kill when he didn't really need to. You should remember, that was the issue. Mm-hmm. In this instance, though, Kisarao is covering the nest walkout. But they're actually going to go towards ramp. Which is depending on... So Able J is in window side. But it really depends on if the windows are broken. If the windows are not broken, they'll have to make noise. Ooh. Yeah, one of them's broken. The bomb was gone, though.
Gets that first pick, peeks back up to try and get the second as well as he spams out. The door's going to open straight out of decon. There he is to try and end their fun. Kesarao goes running out and blows them all to bits. And at that point, it is going to be the win for FURIA. They take Nuke. The upset pickup there as they're coming through. The team that is looking to be a bit of a Brazilian bulldozer, still moving on in that fashion bit. They're looking like they're